Welcome to the Academy, a series focused on the basics of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Novare Coast is one of the many types of player versus player matches you can get in Star Wars: The Old Republic. If you're new to PvP in SWTOR, make sure to check out the Academy episode about how to PvP first. In Novare Coast, a beachside battle in the hills of Denova, there are 3 bunkers that control a powerful mortar battery that's pointed towards the strategic coastline. There's one gun close to the Republic spawn point in the west, one near the Imperial spawn point in the east, and one in the middle of the 2 spawn points to the south. On the scoreboard, the nodes captured by Republic are yellow and the nodes captured by Empire are purple. As the guns fire on the enemy's shield, it will start losing percentage points, and if the enemy team's shields reach 0% before your team's, you win. Novare Coast is very similar to Civil War in that teams will try and capture at least 2 of the 3 nodes. The key difference in Novare Coast is that a node can be partially captured slowly. When you try to capture a node, it's not all or nothing like Civil War. You can still be interrupted while capturing, but if you're able to channel the node for at least a few seconds, you can at least partially capture the node. Partially capture it a few times, and you can fully capture it. Another big difference in Novare Coast is that multiple people can try and capture a node at the same time, so your entire team could potentially be right-clicking the node all at the same time. Keep in mind, you don't have to be directly beside the node to click it. You can be fairly far away while channeling it. If you're attacking a node, try and slip in a few capture attempts if no one is attacking you, but don't waste time capturing if someone is actively attacking you. If you finally cleared out a node of enemies and one of your teammates starts capping, something you could do to help them is to keep any incoming enemies away with pushes, stuns, and pulls. If you're defending, be very careful of enemies sneaking behind you and starting to cap. Never leave the node out of your sight. Much like Civil War, Novare Coast is all about being at the right place at the right time to fend off enemies once you've captured your 2 nodes. If you're defending and there aren't many of your teammates nearby, always call out immediately in chat if you see an enemy coming on the horizon. If you're stunned while defending but don't see any enemies nearby, make sure to call out for help in chat. It means there's a stealther nearby you should be watching out for. In Novare Coast especially, you may get stuck somewhere with no help and no chance of running away before you die. At that point, your game focus will switch from guarding or attacking objectives to simply trying to delay the other team. If 3 enemies are after you, and you can delay them for even a short period of time, sometimes that gives the rest of your team the relief from attack it needs to succeed. You'll want to use your cooldowns, any stuns and slows you have, and annoy the enemy by running around trees or bunkers, anything that will keep them from running back into the game. Delaying also works well in Civil War and occasionally hutball if your team has the ball. In most matches, each team will send a few players to capture the side nodes, and then everyone left over will fight over the center node. Each team will usually make a couple of attempts at the other side's nodes, and things get really interesting if one of them succeeds. In Novare Coast, you can still win even if you're low on the scoreboard. Your team's score only takes damage if the enemy can claim at least 2 of the 3 turrets, and if you manage to capture at least 2 yourself, you might still be able to win the match. If you're in a Novare Coast match and aren't sure what to do, first make sure any turrets that you already have captured have at least one of your teammates defending them. Then head wherever the biggest battle is and join in. But don't forget, just killing the enemy is not the focus of this match. It's more important to know where the enemy is and keep those 2 turrets you have defended. And if you're trying to capture, make sure to keep your eyes open for those sneaky enemies trying to capture it under your nose. On the next episode of the Academy, we'll be talking about the Ancient Hypergates Warzone, a type of match that's very, very different from Novare Coast. If you want to show your support for this series, or to get notified when the next episode of the Academy comes out, subscribe to this channel.